بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
Now, once we understand the connectivity part, again, as I said, we assume that we have a multiple branch offices in different locations. Let's say in Hyderabad, and then we have in Bangalore, and then we have in one in Dubai, let's say in Delhi, different offices or different lands, and I want to interconnect them. And my goal is simple to have end-to-end communication. So we need to make sure that this PC in Hyderabad branch should be able to communicate with another branch office. And to do that, the first thing is required is connectivity. So the first thing we need to set up the LAN, which is already done. So make sure that we do have a set up a LAN. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll try to parallelly do the things where we'll simulate as if we have a dedicated LAN. So I'm going to drag and drop some switches here. Let's say this is my switch. I'm simply copy pasting this switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, switch 4. Assume these four are four different locations, and we need some computers for connecting. So I'm going to connect some computers here for providing the connectivity. Minimum two is sufficient. So I'm going to simply connect two computers in every location. Okay, as if we have some computers. So minimum 2 is sufficient because we are not focusing much on the LAN part here. We need at least 1 or 2 computers to simulate as if we have some computers in the LAN. You can add 10, 20 computers, but that's really not required because at the end, we need 1 or 2 computers for testing. Now, the next thing, we'll make sure that we do have a connectivity in the LAN. So we know we need to connect a straight cable connecting from Ethernet to any one port on the switch side. I'll use the default cable, which connects in order, okay? So make sure that we do have the connectivity in the LAN. The same thing what we generally do. Now the LAN part, I expect you to already have an idea because that's what we covered in the switching section, the basic connectivity and assigning the IP address and all those things. We'll come back to assigning the IP addresses because we need to understand some rules. So I'm not getting into this right now. So assume that we have these 4 different LANs, and my requirement is these 4 different LANs in different cities or different countries should be able to communicate with each other. Okay. Now to make this possible, what's the first thing? Make sure that we do have a connectivity in the LAN as well as connectivity in the WAN. Okay. So now in order to provide the WAN connections, we cannot simply go and connect directly from switch to switch. Switch do not offer you the WAN connections. Of course, if it is an L3 switch, you can do that. As we discussed L3 switch, you can have an L3 port. You can still use the Ethernet connection for the WAN. But again, we have a dedicated devices called routers. So we'll be using the routers here. So which means in my topology, I'm going to use the routers to provide the connection. So we'll drag and drop some of the routers. Any routers we can use, any model, you can just simply drag and drop. Make sure that it has at least 2 to 3 ports connecting. So let's say I'm using this router. So we just drag and drop any of the router. Let me just drag and drop this 4331 ISR model. And let me see what they offer me. So let's go ahead. What I did, I just removed the routers. So you can use any one of the router which can offer me 3 ports. Because if you see the topology here, I'm trying to use 3 different ports. One port goes and connects to one side of the WAN. So there are 2 WAN connections and there is 1 LAN connection. So total I require 3 ports at least to have. Okay. So you can select any of the routers. So again, it depends on the model what we use. Like if you see this ISR 433 model, if you try to zoom in how it looks. Now these are the different empty slots. You can power off button. There is a power off button. Just power it off from here and you can add the card here. So this is the WAN serial port. This is basically the serial port you can use. Serial port is basically the WAN interface card, or you can add Ethernet ports. Now these are the actual Ethernet switch ports. On the router, you can add a switch port as well. You can also add these switch ports where you can use them as a layer 2 ports. Now you know the layer 2, layer 3 ports. Now by default, it comes with the 4 ports, you can see the ports here. These are G0 by 0 by 0, 1, 2, 3, I think. These ports are typically my layer 3 ports where we can assign the IP address. And the one which I've added, this one here, this is a layer 2 port. That's what I just verified. The simple thing how we can confirm these things, just go to the interface. Let's say I power on the device and go to the CLI. Now you should be able to execute the IP address command if it is a layer 3 interface. Now the same simple difference we need to differentiate in case if you find any confusion, like in my case here, we will be using the router here. Let's say this is my router, setup mode, skip the setup mode. If I say show IP interface brief here, you can see these ports by default will be in a shutdown state. That is one confirmation. And you can see these ports are not in a shutdown state by default. And one more thing, what I did is I can simply go and assign the IP address. You can see it accepts the IP address command, but whereas, which means it is a layer 3 interface. And if I go to G0 by 2 by 0, if I try to give the IP address, you can see it's not accepting that command. Okay, so of course you can change it to layer 3 port by using no switch port command. That may not work here because no switch port access something. And you can change the IP address, but normally we do that on the switches. Okay, so if you want to use the ports as a LAN ports, we can still use them connecting to the switch or connecting to some computers in the LAN. But these ports are dedicated layer 3 ports here. Okay, so in my case, you can see these options here. If I go to the physical, now this is something you can always verify. Just power off that. Now, depending upon where you exactly add the card, like you can see, these are the slots. These are basically the slots. Now, if you remember, we discussed there is something called modular routers or modular switches. Now, the modular routers or the modular switches, basically what they do is they will have the slots, and on that particular slots, we can add the routers, or add the cards. So which means in my case, you can see these, this is actually the slot 0, which shows up here, the slot 0. So any card added this, it will show you as G0 by 0 by 1, something like that. So G0 by 0 by 2 like that. So the initial number will represent the slot and the second number represent the sub slot and the last number represent the port number. So there is a 3-level numbering. In some scenarios, you will see only 2-level, which means it has only slot and there's no sub slot, and directly there is a port number which goes like 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. G0 by 1, G0 by 2, G0 by 3 like that. And if you see something like G1 by 2, G1 by 1, G1 by 2, which means these ports are on the slot 1 and this is the actual port number. And so most of the new routers or the advanced routers, you have a slot and the sub slot. So depending upon where you exactly insert the card. Like here, if you see, I insert the slot here, and if I try to power on and go back to the CLI to do the verification, we already did the verification here, but let's wait for the booting process, because when you're adding or removing the cards, even in the Packettracer, you need to make sure that you power off the device. The same thing applicable on the real devices also, right? So if you see here, when I add the card, it actually shows me on the slot 0. So which means basically this is your main slot. So this is the main slot, slot 0. So this is G0. And then you can see this is a sub slot of 0, 1, and 2. So you'll see this numbering as something like this. Now, similar way, if you're adding anything on this side here, you can also add any of the slots or the cards here. So typically we can add the cover or other things. It totally depends. I need to power off and power on. That's a different case. So depending upon the models, these things will vary. Okay. So the main thing here we need to understand is, in the case of modular routers, you will have the slots, not only in the routers, even on the switches, depending upon the actual slot where you exactly insert the card or the ports, the numbering will come according to that. Okay. Now, in my case, anyway, I don't need this one. These are the layer 2 interfaces. I just need only 3 interfaces. And the one what we have here, the default, will be sufficient for us to go ahead. So in terms of our lab, I'm going to use this. So if you want any other additional ports, you can simply power off the device from here and you can add the card. Like these are the different modules. You can always read these modules, what they exactly provide you. It's a network interface module, a 2T card offering you the serial port. So which means if I add this slot here, it provides me the serial connections. Let me verify this. I'm going to power on the device and we'll go to the CLI to do the quick verification of those serial interfaces should be displayed once I power on the device. So there is a G0 ports, the L3 ports and the serial ports, and as well as the Ethernet ports. So let's wait for this to come up. If I say show IP interface brief, you will be able to see there are two serial ports which are added here. S0 by 1 by 0. You can see the numbering, it shows you the main slot is 0, the sub slot is 1, and the port number starts from 0 and 1. So it offers you two serial connections. So if you want for the WAN connections, like I said in my lab, we can use the serial ports as well. Again, it's up to you. In the workbook, you may find I'm using the serial ports or the Ethernet ports. It really doesn't matter, because if you're using some kind of lease line connections or some kind of other old kind of connections, you might be using the serial ports also. So in my case, I'll strictly go with the gig interfaces because that's most common, offering you the 1 gig speed. And additionally, if you are adding any other slots here, you will be able to see this. So you can always read the card here. You can see this is a network interface module providing 4 switch ports. Switch ports means the layer 2 ports. And likewise, this one offering you'll also see how it looks exactly. The view also, you can see this is actually the fiber connection, gig Ethernet ports, offering you the fiber port. That is again the fiber port. There's also some kind of port 1000 base, which is again you can just add this description and check out. Especially this is for industrial Ethernet kind of connection. We're not using that anyway, so we just need the slot. And you can see this is another card which operates Cat5 twisted pair supporting SFP port, the fiber again. So different models, different routers offers you different models. Even if you take any other some kind of old model, you'll find a slightly different here. If you just zoom in to verify here, there is a power off button, power on. Again, here also it offers you some kind of serial ports, power off, and then add the serial ports here. And you can add this here as well. So even you can add 8 serial ports. I think this offers you some other connections. So power on, go to the CLI and verify the different ports. So always verify before and after. And whatever the ports you will see, just try to read out these ports or just search with this description. You'll be able to find what exactly this particular port offers you and how they exactly looks. Most of them might be outdated, like here, as I said, this 1900 series model or 2900 series. These are the ISR old series models, which are end of sale, majority of them. But you may find some other routers as well here. So in my case, I'll be using this ISR 4331. I think that will be good enough for connecting the Ethernet ports for our lab here. But again, as I said, the main thing we need to understand here is the modular routers offer you different slots where you can add the additional cards to extend the number of ports. So let's move on with the connectivity part. So we got this router, ISR router. Like I said, I'm going to remove this and start from here, ISR model, which will offer me 3 types of connections. Means already it has 3 ports. I don't need to change anything. So I'm going to use those ports for connection. So we can simply copy paste this. You can even change the name of the routers. So I need 4 different routers for connecting 4 different locations. So if you want, you can change the names as router 1, router 2, and we can say router 3. And then this is my router 4. So router 1, router 2, router 3, router 4 are simulating my 4 different LANs. Now we can connect a straight cable going from router G0 by 0 going to the switch here. So, and similarly here you can see I got 2 different ports here. So show IP interface brief. Now you can see it offers me the connection, different ports here. So what I'll do is I'll try to use the serial ports because I don't have too many WAN connection ports. So I'm going to use the same 433 model, 331. And for the WAN connections, as it shows me only 2 ports, I need 3 ports, let's say. So I'm going to use the serial connections here. So I'm going to power off the device. So simply we can power off the device. And what I'll do is I'll try to add the 2T card. 2T card are basically the serial ports on these 2 slots and power on. Okay, so once I power on this, I'll copy paste this so that I don't need to do it again and again. So it will come up with this thing. So this is a router 1, and then router 2, router 3, and the router 4. Okay, so it comes with a module. So I'm going to change the name as router 2, router 3, and router 4. Okay, because I'll be using the serial ports for the WAN connection. So initially I thought of using Ethernet ports, but again, I could not find those slots or the additional cards for supporting that. And that's the reason I'll be using the serial ports. So make sure that we are using the Ethernet connection goes and connects to my LAN. So use this straight cable here. You can see the cable, a straight cable connecting from G0 by 0 connecting to any port on the switch. But again, when you're doing switching, you need to remember at this point, we can use any port on the switch, okay? But remember the ports on the routers, because on the same ports, we are going to assign the IP address in the next session. So probably we need to make sure that we remember the ports. So I'm using all G0 by 0s here. That's a simple thing. So in the production scenarios, you need to remember the ports as well, especially the switching also, because I'm not focusing on the switching part. So I'm not really bothered about the ports here as of now. But if you're doing a switching, then you need to, already we discussed in the VLAN trunking, we have to configure some access and other things on that. Now, the next thing, we need to provide the WAN connection. So we assume as if we have a WAN connection. So I'm going to use the serial ports here. So these are the 2 serial ports what we can use. Serial ports connecting from S0 by 1 by 0 to S0 by 1 by 0. And likewise, or you can just use the default cable. Default cable is basically, it will use the default connection, means order wise, it will connect serial ports between the routers. You can see S0 by 1 by 0 connecting to this one. And which port I'm connecting here? This is S0 by 0 by 0 connecting to this one. And then the other side also you should be able to see. Okay. Or you can just remember which port we are exactly connecting. So if you just wanted to memorize or make a note, because it's very important that we understand the port what we are connecting here. S0 by 1 by 1 connecting to S0 by 1 by 0. Okay. Fine. Anyway, we can also verify the connections as we move the cursor here. You can clearly see which ports exactly connected here, the port numbers what we are using. So as of now, we don't have any kind of configuration. The interfaces are down. So this is one part where we are trying to connect the routers, assuming as if the connection is given by the provider. Okay. So in the production scenarios, as I said, mostly these WAN connections are given and maintained by the service providers. So we don't have any access or control on this. So we need to make sure that we are not doing anything here. So we assume that as if the service provider has already given the connection, and we work according to that. So it's like simulating a WAN connection given by the provider in this case.